Hi YouTube! So today I am here with a video and I've been getting a lot of messages and a lot of texts recently and DMs and things like that asking me how I am doing. So I am going to do a health update for you guys. If you didn't know already, I am battling cancer, specifically Hodgkin's lymphoma, for the second time. It never really went away, but there was a period of 5 to 6 months where I was told I was in remission and I am not. So I have been going through additional treatment. So I wanted to give you an update on that. So if you didn't know, I went to the Mayo Clinic. Now that's where I'm going and I feel a lot better going there. And I have been getting a different type of chemo. And I was asked, do I want to have this new type of chemo, which I opted for, or an old type of chemo that has more like longer proven track record, but the new one is more targeted to what cancer I have. So I decided to go with the more targeted new therapy because I think that it has a lot of promise and I saw a lot of people have been on it. So I went with that. And I have completed 3 treatments. I am going for a PET scan, which shows you if there's any active cancer in your body. I'm going for that on the 22nd of this month, so next week. And depending on those results, I will either have to get more chemo of the same type, more chemo of a different type, or if my scan is 100% clear, which my scan has never been 100% clear since I was diagnosed back in 2018. If it is clear, then I will start the stem cell transplant process. Now, a lot of people have been confused about this part. A lot of people think or have assumed that the stem cell transplant is easier somehow. It's actually the scariest part, honestly. It was something that I always dreaded having to do since the beginning of being diagnosed, because obviously I looked up the worst case scenario, and the stem cell transplant is basically the thing that you have to do if your cancer doesn't go away, and well, this type of cancer at least. And I was told in the beginning that my cancer was really easy to cure, quote unquote, with the chemo I did the first time. So to give you guys just a brief overview of what I'm gonna have to do is I am doing a stem cell transplant. It's called autologous stem cell It's called autologous stem cell transplant, also known as auto stem cell, and that is using your own stem cells. So what you have to do first is do some shots that stimulate your bone marrow to grow more stem cells and then release them into your bloodstream. I have to get another surgery to put a different type of port in. It's not a port that stays in, it's a big catheter thing that they can actually take the stem cells out of your body through a machine. It runs the blood through and then puts the blood back in without the stem cells. And the thought process of that is that if you are cancer free, those are healthy stem cells, and they get frozen. Then you have to go to the hospital for basically 3 weeks. And I am given a high dose of chemotherapy, the highest and most intense chemo I've ever had, and that's over 6 days. And that is a really, really scary part to me. Number one, being in the hospital because I have to be away from my daughter. Also, just being in the hospital, I have PTSD from a time when I was admitted for chemo complications. I was put in the ICU and nobody knew what was wrong with me. So being in the hospital, the chemo is very scary to me. I'm gonna lose all my hair. I had shaved my hair off December of 2018, but I still had maybe this little of hair, but it was patchy. So I mean, basically was bald before, but I was never bald. And so I'm not really quite ready to see myself with no hair, just because it's gonna confirm to me that I'm sick, although I know I'm sick, or hopefully I'm not but anymore, but I know I have cancer. But if you saw me walking down the street, you wouldn't think that. So it's going to be hard on me. I just grew all of this hair, although it's crazy. I just grew it all, and now I'm going to lose it again. And it's a sign to the whole world that I'm sick. So I'm not looking forward to that. I'm also going to probably lose all my eyebrows, all my eyelashes. But basically, they give you this chemo for 6 days. It puts your immune system at 0. Your body is basically depleted of all of its stem cells, and then they give you your frozen stem cells back, which are supposed to be the healthy ones, to basically transplant your entire immune system. So basically, from what I understand, that next following week after you get the stem cells is the worst because all the chemo hits you and your body is basically zero, so it has no way to fight off any infections. You usually get fevers, all types of bad side effects that I won't go into. And then the third week after that, you're recovering, and then I have to stay near the hospital another 2 weeks, which is kind of far from my house. So basically not going to be home for at least like 5 or 6 weeks, which is crazy to me. So I have to do that, and then the recovery from that is a long time because it's so crazy. The chemo even knocks out your vaccinations that you had as a child. You have to get them all over again. And then for a whole year after my stem cell transplant, I have to get, I think, like 16 of these chemo treatments of the type I'm getting now. It's kind of like an insurance policy to see if, you know, you can kind of make the transplant stick around more, or stick around, hopefully, to be cured. My doctor told me that if you do the maintenance treatments, you have a 20% more likely chance to be cured. This is chemo brain, and I'm drinking coffee and it's not helping. So that is what's going on with me. If everything is good on the 22nd, which I'm praying that it is, although I don't want to do the transplant. I'm freaking scared, but I don't also want to delay anything any longer. I'm just ready to get it over with and like start getting healthy. So 22nd, if it's clear, then I'll have a more definite time frame of when these things are happening. Hopefully that helps you guys if you were curious, if you know me in real life, even if you don't and you were curious, but I have gotten a lot of messages about it. But yeah, anyway, so that is what's going on with me. I don't know how much of what I go through I'm going to share as far as like video wise. I might feel differently when I sit in the hospital alone. But I just wanted to let you guys know if you were worried about me or you were wondering, that is what's going on. So if you have any questions, always feel free to leave them in the comments, DM me, whatever. I'm pretty open. And if you are going through something similar, always feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk with you. That is everything. See you guys in the next one. Bye.